aspiring to be a large
Yeah, I was
redwood.
just gonna say, you gotta get the redwoods adjacent.
Here we have a redwood that's been let go for 2+ years now. I purchased this back from a client that was overwhelmed with the maintenance bills that a redwood entails. I've probably wired this tree 4 times, maybe 5 over the years. I procured it in '02, I believe, and showed it for many years. I prefer the formal upright style of redwoods. I have 3, 2 of which are not actually 2 are formal uprights, 1 is not. The small, stumpy, burly looking redwoods are very exciting trees, but they don't really look like a redwood. So I like having both in my arsenal, but having a tree that's 2 to 4 feet tall that looks 300 feet tall is what I think of when you say redwood. What we're going to do is we're going to prune it back, not real hard because there's a lot of intricate structure here you can't really see yet. But what I like to do is prune back the stuff is going to leave the tree. And then we start wiring and prune as we go. This trunk has actually gotten so thick at the base that I think this tree needs to be quite a bit taller. So I've let this lead grow, and hopefully the top of the tree is going to end up about this position, which will stretch it out and it'll look more like a natural redwood. So let's get to work.
So why did you let this grow out so much?
The client had let the tree grow out probably half or more of what you see here, which is why he agreed to sell me the tree, because he knew the bill coming from this much work was going to be very large.
So it's got kind of like a triangular silhouette right now. Are you trying to make it more cylindrical?
I do want to tighten up the bottom so we can go more vertical and not be so wide in the beginning, because that's the way redwoods grow. They don't grow straight out. They grow out and then they droop. All these branches up here need to be kept for now.
You better start wiring, otherwise I'm going to trim half of what's left.
Yeah, all right. One thing when I was taking master workshops, there was a master here from Japan. His name was Takeda. And he said, Jay, when you're wiring, you have 10 fingers. Use them. So what I do is I take my fingers and I move the foliage out of the way as I'm working my way down the branch. See, and I can do that and that. Still continue wiring. What I'm trying to do is create minute gaps between the branches, not big wide ones. Keep it minute and ladder your way up. Tree stays looking mature and full, but you still get that realistic look.
So are you going to lime sulfur the wood, or are you just going to kind of brush it?
I will re-lime sulfur the wood. But right here, we have a dead snag that I actually created 3 years ago, I believe. This was alive. This tree was, the lower branch and this were equidistant. They both came down the same length. And I don't like that type of styling. It works for some people, but it looks like a Christmas tree. Boring. So I eliminated these branches that came down, killed them off, noticing that there is a dead little vein right here that goes up alongside this snag. So what I want to do is I want to connect this whole snag to the deadwood shari and have that come all the way down to almost soil line. And then the other thing I want to do is it's a little wide here, taper wise. So I'm going to reduce the deadwood from there to there and create better taper. And I'm able to do that because that part of the tree is dead. I can do some carving and reduce the thickness for probably 6 inches of that trunk, which will greatly enhance the taper of the trunk. Back to wiring, as Marco would say. Shut up and keep wiring. Here we have the results of a day and a half's worth of work. I got a little frisky last night after Eric left and discovered lots of new deadwood in the trunk. So I'm very happy with the results, as I usually am.
Twin Towers.
Redwoods are probably the most labor-intensive tree in bonsai. You gotta pinch, pinch, pinch some more, and keep pinching. So we're gonna demonstrate on how to bring the pinching back in. The light new green foliage looks great, but it's got to be controlled. So what we do is we go back to 2 to 4 needles, and then you still have a little green ornament at the end of the branch, but that arrests the elongation and forces more back budding behind it. Okay, I like to use scissors. A lot of people pinch with their fingers, but you can't be real accurate with your fingers. And being as this, I'm working this to be towards the show tree. As you can see, I leave 2 needles if they're big, 4 if they're small. Okay, what this does, it stops the elongation of the branches, arrests the elongations, with the word I was looking for there. And you gotta do them all. Just because they're small, they won't be small for long, especially now that we're arresting the elongation. All that energy is gonna go to those new little ones. So do them all. And you'd be amazed at how quickly, plus what you're looking for is any dead needles. You want to get rid of those as you're going. And then you see how many shoots I have coming out of that one area. Well, this one's going vertical, so let's get rid of that one. You want to try and keep them lateral. And if it gets too sparse, trust me, it won't be sparse for long. Redwoods grow so quickly. Okay, this branch here, you see there's not much going on this branch. Although we do have a couple pops here, there's not much going on here. And if I was to get rid of this, I could go ahead and pull this small one down as well as this, which I think we're gonna do. Because this is kind of thick and coarse anyway. So let's get rid of this. And then I'll put a little wire on these 2 light ones. and drop those and take the place of that thick coarse one. But that's what we're trying to get. Nice radial level pads. And if anything, slightly downward. The lower we go, the more they want to point downwards. .22 gauge is an integral part of doing redwoods because this is how you arrange the foliage. Gotta get in there and wire some of those new shoots. That's how you fill out the pads. Now you can do it the slow way. We have pinched and pruned most of the foliage all the way up and down. I will have to do this again in probably less than 2 months. From the last time we did filming, most of this was pretty much solid foliage through here. So what I would do is I'd just stand back and punch a hole every now and then, because those holes were not there when we did the initial filming. I told Eric, I said, I want every branch wired and I'll arrange the branches as I see fit. And we did that and I arranged them, but it, like I said, from here up was pretty much solid foliage and you couldn't hardly see the structure. Anyway, redwoods, great tree for bonsai. So hope you enjoyed the video and go find yourself a redwood. They're awesome specimens to create with. From my shop to yours, adios.